dust storm, man.
Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
So the plot thickens. Over the last couple weeks, we've been talking about massive amounts of rumors. And now, all of a sudden, it's getting quiet. Anyone else seeing a pattern here? This is The Wars and More. I'm Joe, and of course with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey Doug, how you doing this week?
I'm doing all right, Joe. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I see a pattern, right?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Crazy rumors,
Right.
madness,
Yes.
silence. I think something big's coming.
Yeah, like what?
Well, probably the Mandalorian trailer that they've been saying we're going to get for the last 3 weeks.
Right. Yeah. There was a rumor a couple weeks ago, and then everyone decided, well, it's got to be coming on one of the dates from, the original dates from Celebration.
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of on that in our pre-show talks a couple weeks ago. Like, everybody's like, sources say, and we're like, bullshit.
Yeah, right. Yes.
My sources are telling me, look, we are not listening to you.
Exactly.
We're not taking you seriously. It's become too common to say, my sources are telling me that this week this is going to happen. And then you come out and say, well, my sources say it was delayed due to production difficulties and blah, blah. No, you were wrong. You guessed you were wrong. You wanted clicks.
That's right.
Sorry. But hey, you do you.
That's right. Who can blame them, right?
Yeah. But I do have a feeling that there is something coming, whether it's a trailer, whether it's something else they're working on. I mean, this is the time when Celebration was supposed to be happening.
Right.
They weren't coming into this empty-handed. They just weren't. And they're not going to put off what they were going to announce at this Celebration until 2022.
Right. Yeah, I can't see that happening.
So, flurry of rumors, madness, goes quiet, something's coming. Something's coming.
Yeah.
Maybe big. Maybe just slightly big.
So what do we know now?
Well, we do know that The Mandalorian Season 2, well, we already knew it was premiering in October.
Right.
We talked about that a couple weeks ago. But we have a date. October 30th.
October 30th. So I envision this big table at Lucasfilm with everyone's like stressed out and they're scratching their head. We've been telling everybody for a year now it'll be October. How do we get it done and get it to premiere in October? It's like, well, just do it on the 30th. Okay,
Brilliant.
That's it. Second to last day of the month. Okay. I love it.
Second to last day of the month. And hey, we can even buy a little bit more time. Let's just do an episode where he takes Baby Yoda trick-or-treating.
That's perfect. I love it. I could just see him walking up to the sandcrawler.
Yep. Waving his hand. Getting all that candies.
Exactly.
Oh, teeny.
Yeah. Or maybe hairy eggs. They give out hairy eggs. I don't know.
Oh, it's funny you bring that. Oh man, I love that episode. He goes and almost dies over this egg, and they just crack it open and start eating.
Right.
Oh man, it's amazing. But yeah, October 30th. I mean, I don't think this is a delay tactic or
No.
anything like that.
Oh,
It's
no. I just thought it was ironic not ironic, but it's just kind of funny. It always tends to happen this way. They've been saying for a long time it's going to be October. And I just, deep down in my gut, I had this feeling it was going to be okay. It's going to be like the last week in October. And sure enough.
Yeah, that may have happened that way. They went in the room. Okay, guys, we're going to release it in October. And everybody went, what?
What? Yeah. I need more time.
The 30th. It's technically November. Calm down.
I imagine. Okay, now I'm imagining the scene. Vader landing on the second Death Star. The Emperor's coming here? I need more men. Yes.
We'll double our efforts.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, October 30th it is.
Yep, we got it. Nailed it. We're gonna nail it. Don't choke me.
Right.
Yeah, and been all this rumor about a trailer. Look, we're 2 months away now, right?
Yeah, just under. Yeah.
Just under 2 months away?
Yep.
Yeah, a little more than just under. But, yeah, close to 2 months.
Right.
Away from this release. It's trailer time. So probably the day after we release this show.
It'll probably happen that way, yeah.
We'll get a trailer. And, yeah. We'll talk about it next week.
That's right.
I don't know. We assume we're going to get a trailer.
That's the thing.
I've been thinking about that more and more. It's like, well, what do they put in a trailer for the season 2 of Mandalorian? And we're seeing all these rumors, and what about these rumors do they want to reveal in a trailer?
If any, I think there's only one, right? We've seen the rumors of this gray cloaked Ahsoka, hooded, they could kind of show a little bit of that, not like her face or anything, but okay, they could reveal that Ahsoka's going to be on the show. But I don't know why they would. Here's my thing. The Mandalorian was the most streamed show, period. You really don't need something to entice everybody back. Everybody's going to come back because this show has gotten much love and acclaim from everybody. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of reason to do anything more than what they just did. Say, hey, it's going to be October 30th. And everyone's like, okay, got it. We'll be there. I don't know. I don't. They might do something, but man, they don't have to do a whole lot. That's for sure.
Well, we know this. Okay. Right about the time right now while we're recording, we are right on the release date for Mulan. Okay, we're right on top of it right now.
Yep.
Disney doesn't like to step on its own properties.
It's a true statement.
So you figure Mulan, give it at least a week, and then maybe they'll be willing to start talking Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So Disney does a lot to coordinate around their own releases, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's Marvel, whether it's, they moved films because of.
Yeah. It's funny because, I was just thinking about this as you're saying it, with the big tentpole films, the big giant ones, the Star Wars, the Marvels, the what would have been a theatrical release in Mulan. You're exactly right. They will move things around to accommodate other things when they're in theaters and such. What's funny is, right as you were saying it, I was thinking to myself, okay, so we're right in the middle of the Mulan release. They can actually kind of judge how that's going for them in real time and adjust the release of something like a trailer. Whoa, this Mulan thing's falling off real quick, so let's bring it up. And, they kind of have a lot of control now, and they can do things a lot quicker as far as the streaming services and things like that go. You're still going to have to get TV spots and stuff, but getting it on ABC is not going to be a big deal. You know what I mean?
And have you ever seen like on some of these like commercials and stuff for like Netflix and things like that? Like they'll show a trailer for something.
Yeah.
And they'll be like streaming now on Netflix, and it shows the Netflix screen with like movies scrolling by.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they could do this with The Mandalorian and just like, okay, it's a little added boost for Mulan. It's streaming, October 30th on Disney Plus, and it shows Disney Plus screen and titles scrolling by, and Mulan's in there.
Right.
That stuff that they get like right in your subliminal. Like,
oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, I didn't even consider this back when we were talking about the trailer release for the basketball game, right?
Right.
I don't even think we talked about that on air. I think we just talked off air because we were like, yeah, I don't see it. Why would they do it like this?
Right.
It was not their style. Like they're going to come on Good Morning America and say, hey, tonight,
yep,
during the basketball game, we're going to have a trailer. When have they ever done this? The answer is never.
Right.
They've never done what was laid out, and it just seemed fishy. But for some reason, everybody jumped on it. So, yeah, Mulan, let that come and go.
Right.
And then you'll see The Mandalorian. That is, like I said, it's not what Disney does. Disney does not step on their own toes.
Yeah,
they did not become the company they are by competing with themselves.
Exactly. Yeah. They have to be very smart about how they do this. Each property has to have its own time to breathe, and once it starts falling off, that's when they swoop on in with the next one to take up that slack. And they're very smart about that. So I think we're all very anxious to see something. So we're, it's kind of like wishful thinking from the fan base, but, we'll just have to wait and it all gets its turn, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, another thing that's getting really close is the whole High Republic venture.
Right.
So we're looking at January for this thing to kick off?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure the date.
Yeah, I believe it launches in January. 99.9% sure.
Okay, that's pretty sure. That's
pretty sure. There is a little bit of me that's like, but no. I'm pretty sure January is when we're looking at the launch for the High Republic. They went and did something a little goofy, in my opinion.
Goofy?
Yeah, let's meet Yoda. The Star Wars High Republic Yoda.
Right.
I'm like, oh, cool. Let's check this out. Hey, look, it's like they used the Phantom Menace Yoda.
Kinda, yeah.
I mean, this one with the lit lightsaber. I mean, that straight up looks like Yoda out of Episode 3 when he's getting ready to fight Palpatine.
Yeah, you're right.
I think that's the same shot.
It very well could be.
So he's 200 years younger.
Right.
But yeah.
So we talked about this. This whole going back in time. When they first announced the High Republic, and they said it's going to be 200 years before, the events of Phantom Menace or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, that's just so you can have Yoda in it, right? Because otherwise, go back further. Please, the fans are clamoring for them to go back further.
I mean, you hear they're going 200 years, right? Or whatever they said. Like,
yeah.
I believe the first announcement was like hundreds of years before it's like,
Something like that.
then you read into it, it's like 199 and a half years before.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, why? I don't understand what's the allure here, because literally in the prequel trilogy, you hear stuff like, the Sith have been extinct for a millennia.
Right.
I mean, so unless they change the definition for millennia to being like 100 years.
Well, I mean, Obi-Wan, right? For 1,000 generations. Whoa, 1,000 generations. That's a long time. It's like over 20,000 years. That's
it's like 25,000 years
Yeah.
of the Jedi. And that's of the old Republic.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, there's a lot of untapped timeline there. I mean, this whole, I don't know. We said it before. The only reason they're only going back a couple hundred years is so that they can keep Yoda in it. And I think there's, maybe this is some sort of marketing ploy to keep people interested. But man, I don't know. Hopefully these stories are really good. That's all I got to say. I just hope that they're really good and they draw everybody in.
Well, I mean, so let's keep in mind that this is Star Wars Publishing.
Yeah.
It's a rather large audience, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
it is not feature film.
Sure. I get that.
Audience levels. So they can really kind of dip their toes in the water using publishing. And if this is well received, maybe they would consider going back more. But this is definitely a safe play.
You think it's a safe play?
I think it's a play to make sure they can write Star Wars the same way they've been writing Star Wars.
Well, okay, so
because if you go back 10,000 years, the story's got to be different.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they've kind of outlined what they're going to be doing here, as far as, kind of who the enemy's going to be and how the Jedi look and where the.
I think it was a safe play.
Okay.
Safe as in, we're not risking too much. Okay, maybe people will be bored with it, but it'll be the Star Wars that they're used to.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? That kind of safe play.
And
not the safe play that it's going to be like the safe play would have been like the Luke Skywalker Chronicles,
right?
Like,
yeah. Well, I guess where I was coming from with it is, I don't know how much of a safe, quote unquote, safe play it can be if you've already got people wondering. It's like, okay, is this, I'm already not sure. Like, it doesn't necessarily sound like something that I need to jump all over, We'll see. I'm going to check it out, but I do have some concerns as far as, for a time period where the Jedi supposedly have maintained peace in the galaxy, where could the big adventure be, Right.
Because, I mean, it is about the eternal struggle. Like, the Star Wars we've had along the way has been about the eternal struggle between good and evil. You have the light side, the dark side. You have Jedi and Sith.
Right.
You are venturing into a time period where there are no Sith, at least out in the open.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, they could be doing a little stuff behind the scenes, but they're not going to be very brazen about it.
Right.
You're not going to have open lightsaber battles between a Jedi and a Sith.
No, there's not going to be anything like that.
Yeah, I mean the prospects of a lightsaber battle happening in this series are very low.
Yeah, you can have lightsabers, wielded by Jedi, but against what, blasters? I mean, it's kind of what we're looking at here, I think.
I mean, for the most part, yeah, it seems that's what we're looking at here. Like I said, I know I say like, oh, you're stepping away from this eternal struggle, but I still think they're stepping into a territory that they think is a soft landing for a new start. It'll be close enough to what we've done for people to at least feel comfortable in the environment that we're establishing. It's going to feel like what you've seen before when we're describing, the High Republic. Because it's just the Old Republic. It's literally the same organization.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the names have changed, but places are the same kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, well, the Old Republic is literally from the establishment of the Republic until Revenge of the Sith.
Yes.
So that is the Old Republic. Thousands of years.
Yeah.
So to go back 200, you're staying in safe territory as far as like making people feel familiar.
Yep.
And you're staying away from the whole prospect of like, well, how come you're not doing Revan? How come you're not doing this?
Yeah, that I that's another area that I have to say they'd be wise to stay away from because I think for some fans, no matter what they did, they'd end up quote unquote doing it wrong. But I
think they run that risk diving into anything old. So any of the old Legends material, the old EU, anything they touch there is going to get this whole, they did it wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, there's even been some pushback on Thrawn. And Thrawn is a character that is being portrayed in a very similar light to the old expanded universe stuff.
Right.
But there's still pushback.
Thrawn's pretty much the same, I would say. It's all the events that surrounded the original Thrawn trilogy that are different. If that makes sense.
They washed all that away.
Right. Everything around Thrawn changed. Thrawn's still kind of the same. And he just was inserted into, the current canon. But I don't know. I just feel as though there's I'm hoping I'm wrong. I just feel like there might be something that we all walk away feeling like there's a little something lacking with this. I'm hoping that there's something really to this that, just pulls us in.
Yeah. I mean, but not to beat a dead horse here, but, you talk about Revan and you think of like Revan, Malik, even, further ahead than that, Darth Malgus and stuff that has been created by LucasArts.
Right.
Okay. Like Revan was a LucasArts character.
Yep.
Created for the Knights of the Old Republic game.
Yeah.
So this is a character that is literally entrenched in the property you bought. You can literally use everything that was there and branch out from that.
Yes. I agree. I think most fans agree. There's, if anything, it's like, yes, let all of that stuff that has told a story thus far on a character like Revan stand, and let's hear some more story. Let's hear something else about this character. That's where I think most fans would like to see it go, and that's where I think it could be done right. If you're going to take a character like that and then you're going to actually kind of like rewrite the whole history, that's what I'm saying is doing it wrong, quote unquote. And that's that.
I guess what I'm saying is I just don't understand the same amount of reluctance being applied to characters that were created by Lucas employees and stuff at Lucas Arts. Those characters getting the same treatment as characters created by an unaffiliated, endorsed story, but by an author who was not an employee of LucasArts, Lucasfilm, anything like not an official employee. The LucasArts stuff used in the video games, they were official employees that created this.
Right.
It's just like now the stories being created by EA all got the sanctioning. They got the blessing.
Sure. Yeah.
It's canon. It was presumed that this stuff before it was as well, because it was an official Lucasfilm, LucasArts property. So I don't understand this reluctance to venture into those characters.
Well,
they're treating it the same as they treat characters written by authors who just got the, yes, this is a Star Wars story based on characters by George Lucas.
Right. I'm not sure. I think I don't want to say. All right, I'll say it. I think to some degree, maybe they're scared. They don't want to do the wrong thing to the wrong character and have the fan base blow up on them. That's,
I think the saying is going to be, "Don't Luke this one."
Yep. Could be that. Yeah.
Have something to add to the conversation, or you just want to let us know how we're doing? Email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. That's the best place to get in on the action. But if social media is a little more to your liking, @TheWarsAndMore on Twitter is always a good place to interact with us. And we're also on Facebook, facebook.com/TheWarsAndMore. And of course, your portal to this and everything else, The Wars and More, is thewarsandmore.com.
All right, so we got to take a minute here and do something that's never easy and we never look forward to doing. We got to take a moment and recognize the accomplishments and really kind of reflect on an actor that was taken from us way too soon. Chadwick Boseman, the star of Black Panther, passed away at the age of 43.
Yeah.
And this is shocking.
Yes, it's definitely very sad news.
Really at the height of his career.
Yeah.
He really burst onto the scene with Black Panther.
Right.
And that character killed it. he absolutely nailed that character.
Yeah, for sure. It's amazing, because we've had the unfortunate opportunity to have discussions like this on this show before, and we're talking about people like, let's say, Carrie Fisher, right?
Right.
When she passed, it was very sad, but as fans, we were all aware that she had personal issues and things that she was dealing with, and coping mechanisms that were very unhealthy for her. And, in this case, this is someone much younger, like you said, much more in his prime, having to deal with something far more horrific, really.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, this is one of those. It's way too soon. Like this is not something you would expect to talk about when someone's 43 years old.
Exactly.
And then to find out, that he had been battling this over the last 4 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. So he was battling this while he was achieving this stuff.
Right.
I mean, this guy is as much a warrior as the character he portrays.
Yeah, for sure.
It's unbelievable. And this is just so it hits hard. And I mean, I haven't seen Black Panther yet.
Okay.
I've seen the character.
Right.
I saw him in the Avengers film. Or was it Civil War, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, where he made his debut.
Yeah. And I have seen the film. It's an awesome film. I have to say, I'm not exactly sure where you were going with it, but I mean, definitely worth checking out. You should definitely take the time.
My whole point was just going to be like, he shows up and there's like, wow, this dude's badass.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you don't really get much more than that out of Civil War, right?
Right.
There's a lot of introductions in there that don't really get fleshed out.
Right.
And this was one of those characters that didn't really get fleshed out in there. That's why we had this other film. Because you had to flesh this character out.
Yeah, for sure.
He showed up, was like, whoa, who's that? And yeah, he just, wow, like, awesome portrayal. I'm familiar with the character from the comics. And yeah, it's devastating to see.
So the part that gets me, there's a statement made by his publicist, and I'm not going to read the whole list of his achievements that he has in there, but he says, talking about his films and things he was working on, all were filmed during and between countless surgeries and chemotherapy. Now, I just have to say, I have personal experience with loved ones who have gone through such things. And this stuff will wipe you out. Like, it's cliche to say the treatment is worse than the disease, but it's really a true statement. So I have firsthand knowledge about how that works, and for this guy to be working as hard as he was throughout all this is amazing.
Yeah. It definitely seems he was truly an amazing human being.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
And I can tell you this world does not need less amazing human beings. So this truly sucks.
Yes, for sure.
Our thoughts out, to his family and all that. Just would have liked to have seen more, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm grateful for, the work that he's given us.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. All right. That's always hard to move on
for sure.
Stuff like this. It's just,
yeah.
I truly don't like that stuff. It just, who does, right?
Yeah, exactly. You
gotta be truly sick. Yeah. All right, so Star Wars. Back to Star. Jeff Goldblum. We all know Jeff Goldblum.
Of course.
Well, he may show up in Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a history with Taika Waititi.
Yeah, that he does. That he does. Another Marvel film, right?
Yep, and they were having a conversation. They asked about, about them being close friends and, were they going to work together in the future? And he says, we've talked about doing something else that has to be secret right now. But I would do anything with him. Sure.
Nice.
Something that's got to be kept secret. Well,
something's got to be kept secret.
Taika's working on a Star Wars film.
This is true. This is true.
So we know he's working on a Star Wars film, but we don't know what he's working on.
Right. So wasn't there some thought here that this might mean that Jeff Goldblum makes an appearance in The Mandalorian?
Well, yes, but that is unlikely.
I would agree with that,
because Taika is not directing any of the season 2 episodes.
Okay. So
if he's working with Taika, it wouldn't make sense for him to be in The Mandalorian season 2. Season 2.
Yeah.
Let's emphasize season 2.
Right.
Maybe he's working on a season 3 project with Taika. That could be the secret. Can't rule that out.
Yeah.
But what we know, as far as what Taika's working on, he is working on a Star Wars film.
Yeah.
I would not foresee him coming in and working on The Mandalorian while that is on his plate.
So do you think that he would be writing this film, a character in that film with Jeff Goldblum in mind? I mean,
yeah.
Okay. I have to, I don't know. That just seems odd to me,
I think every director does that, though.
Do you?
Every director has a friend that they bring in, whether it's a small role or something like that. They always pencil something in for their friend. At least one
right.
of them. Unless it's J.J. Abrams, and then they do all of their friends.
Yes. There's nothing but friends in the movie. So,
yes. But every director has a friend that they bring in. Every writer, director, right?
Okay.
Like they do this. So yes, I think it is in his mind. I don't think he's like basing his story around it.
Okay, I see.
Not in the least.
Okay, so you're not thinking it's like a main character, like
No, I think it's like this. He's sitting down writing Star Wars, but he's got Jeff in there.
Okay.
Right? And along the way, he's going to be writing something that goes, yes, this is where he comes in.
Interesting. Okay. I just,
and
his character.
I'm not saying that's at the fore. Like, he's like writing to fit something in there, but he's got friends like Jeff Goldblum.
Right.
So obviously his style, his look, his personality, the characters that he's done in the past, it's going to be in his mind somewhere. When you're creating, the entirety of your mind is open to you.
Yeah. I'm okay. So what we have to go on as of right now, right? Where he worked with him before was in Ragnarok, right? Thor Ragnarok. And Jeff Goldblum's character there, for me to put it into quote unquote Star Wars terms, is I imagine, I don't say I imagine, but I liken his character to like, let's say, a less severe Dryden Voss. So, it kind of, when I say less severe, like a little quirky too. I don't know. So, I guess it could work, if he's got something similar in mind, but Jeff Goldblum is the type of actor who could play anything, really. So, I guess I don't know, but man, Star Wars. We're gonna get into this a little bit later, I think, but Star Wars is also the kind of thing where it's like, you don't want you don't want to see the actor when you're watching Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you'd be like, yeah, that's Jeff Goldblum. I mean, usually, a lot of Star Wars actors are more on the unknown side.
Yeah, but I mean, did you do that with Mace Windu?
To some
degree. Did you see
degree.
Samuel L. Jackson and not see Mace Windu?
To some degree, I did. Yeah, I have to admit.
To a degree, it happens, but
I had to.
It was done well enough.
It was done well. There's no doubt about that.
That you can bring a Samuel L. Jackson in, and he didn't overtake it. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Star Wars was not overshadowed by the fact that Samuel L. Jackson was in it.
You think about it like this, though. Okay, Mace Windu is one of Sam Jackson's most understated characters that he's played. So it's kind of a what would you call it? That character is a far cry from a lot of his other characters, right? I just
yeah, he didn't say the F word not time.
Once, exactly.
He didn't yell like he normally yells. I mean, he was more like his Jurassic Park character.
Okay.
A little more reserved,
right? I'm just saying, it could probably work out just fine. Like I said, Jeff Goldblum.
By the way, Jeff Goldblum was in that movie too.
Yeah, I know. He
active tissue forming.
He is a great actor, right? I think it could work. I just hope that it's done in a way that doesn't make me say, "Yep, there's Jeff Goldblum in Star Wars," as I'm watching the film.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all.
I don't think that would happen. I don't think that Taika would let that happen.
That's a good point that you just made, I gotta say, because from everything I've seen from Taika Waititi so far, he could probably make that happen without us being any the wiser. For sure.
Yeah, I don't think he would make him stand out to where you're like, wow, that's Jeff Goldblum. I just don't feel like he would write that way. I think if he shows up, it's going to be not over impactful.
Right.
He's there.
I guess part of what's making me say that is now this is not Jeff Goldblum playing the part. This is Taika Waititi playing the part. But I recently did watch Jojo Rabbit, and Taika playing the imaginary Hitler was like, at first you're looking at him going, wow, that's Taika, and then as time goes on, you're like, you forget about all that. So it was.
And you're going to have that initial. I mean, and there's the thing about Star Wars. You may not know right away that the character that you just saw was Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Mark Hamill has at least two characters that we don't even know who they are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is true.
So, but
Well.
hey, I want to point out one other thing. Jurassic Park, Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the whole Jurassic Park series, right? You got
Uh-huh.
Samuel L. Jackson, Laura Dern.
Yep.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yep.
Just saying, Jeff Goldblum would be a pretty good fit with
Wow.
everything that's been going on.
Yeah, I could see it. Okay. Guess I need to go back and watch Jurassic Park. I don't know.
I mean, wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, I've seen it once, a long time ago. So,
About once.
yep. Pretty much.
How many times have you seen Independence Day?
Lots. That's a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, I like Jeff Goldblum's character in that. But, I mean, I think his dad in that sold it even better.
Oh, for sure.
I can't remember the actor's name, but
Judd Nelson, right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. You don't think they spend, you know, $10,000 on a hammer,
Yeah.
$20,000 on a toilet seat, do you? Best line of the movie.
Ever. Yes.
Oh, man. Or the other one was like, we're the only, you know, everybody's trying to get out of the city. We're the only schmucks trying to get in.
That's right. Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, man. I was going to go somewhere there. I got distracted by that.
Yeah. Easy to do.
But, I was going to say, like, I do like his character of Ian Malcolm in Jurassic Park, like, a lot.
Okay.
So it's one of my favorites of his roles that he's played. So maybe you should go back and watch the Jurassic Park films.
Maybe I will.
All right. Where to go? John Boyega.
Yeah.
Boyega. We were talking about DC last week.
We were. It was kind of a big DC week last week.
It was a big DC week. Well, John Boyega kind of hinted at if he played a DC character, who he might be interested in playing.
Right. It's kind of funny because there was a tweet, and this guy says only DC role I see is Jon Stewart, Green Lantern. Reference to John Boyega, who he'd be playing. John Boyega's he replies, LMAO, too funny. I can't be Red Hood? Damn. So, apparently, he'd like to play Red Hood. Which,
Why not?
exactly.
I mean, how many people were the Red Hood?
I don't know.
Lots.
Right.
Lots. So yeah, there's no reason why he couldn't play the Red Hood.
And you know, it's almost a characteristic of that character, right? When I say character, you know, whoever it might be, right? It kind of gives you a freedom to just be something different in that universe, right? To a degree.
Well, you know, we talked about Joker in Gotham, Jerome's character,
Yes.
and Jeremiah, right?
Yes.
But at the end, when he was getting ready to be dropped off a building,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
he says, "I'm an idea. There'll always be one of me." Like,
Right.
that literally is the Red Hood.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So we love that concept with the Joker, but that concept's been there all along with the Red Hood. Like, that character is an idea. Someone can always step in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he could totally be the Red Hood.
Yep. Which kind of gives you a freedom to put your own spin on that character, because it's constantly revolving, really.
Yeah, and I mean, it's DC, man. I mean, stories change all the time anyway.
Exactly.
There's no saying he can't be Jason Todd.
Right? Yeah, for sure. You said it too.
And becoming the Red Hood.
Stories change all the time, right? But they're constantly retelling the same stories, changing them all the time, so it works out, Yeah. It's funny. I mean, I come from an era of reading comic books when, every Batman comic book, and I mean just nearly every Batman comic book replayed the death of Bruce Wayne's
I don't
parents.
think we can emphasize this enough. Literally every.
Yeah, it was. You always had to replay that. The death of Bruce Wayne's parents. It was. Yes.
And there was always some subtle change.
Yes. Some little tiny thing different. Yes. I mean, there was always the theater, right? There's always the pearl necklace, but maybe the shooter changed. Maybe, just whatever. There's always some little thing that was different.
And not to get too much into DC again, but, I always kind of associated that with Batman's psyche.
Okay.
Right? He was always replacing the villain in the memory.
Oh. I like that.
Like, he always got the person that was the perpetrator, right?
Yeah.
Like, he always got the bad guy that was the shooter of his parents.
Right. Well,
but it always changed.
So what you're saying is, like, whoever he's after in the moment, he kind of puts in that placeholder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
So he never actually knew who did it.
Right.
But in an effort to just stop that kind of thing from happening, it was always replaced with someone else.
Yeah, I dig it. I dig it. That's how he can achieve.
It was his fuel.
Yeah. I get it. I love it. It's good.
And that kind of made the whole line from the latest trailer for the Batman.
Right.
I am vengeance.
Yeah.
Like, literally, if that's what he was doing, replacing that, villain in his mind, his villain.
Right.
Then that's true. He always was vengeance. No matter what he was after, it was vengeance was at the top of the list.
Cool.
But that's how I rationalize this whole, like, it was always a different villain. Like, it was.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I mean, it was never like the Riddler was the one that did it.
No.
I mean, it was always just some
thug. Yeah.
Gangster thug,
Right.
Something like that.
Some dude in a, that's what I love about Batman, right? You get the imagery of like a 1920s gangster, right? Some guy in a pinstripe suit, pocket watch, But
yeah, only once was it one of the main villains, right? It was Joker in Tim Burton's Batman film.
Right. Yeah. But
that's what started that rationalization for me. Like just like he's replacing it.
yeah, I like it. It's good.
Because he doesn't actually know. That memory is he was a kid.
Right.
So it's like, oh, maybe this asshole's the one that did it.
I like it.
So yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah, definitely. John Boyega should be Red Hood. Got my
Red
vote.
Hood. Just bring him to DC.
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah.
But yes, he could absolutely be Red Hood. I'm even on board with him being John Stewart.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, we need a good Green Lantern.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I think they're a little gun shy about the Green Lantern thing after the Ryan Reynolds fiasco thing. I was just saying.
Yeah. Wasn't good.
Right.
I mean, he was made to be Deadpool.
Yes.
Not so much Green Lantern.
Yeah, exactly.
But I could see John playing a good Green Lantern.
Oh yeah, totally.
So, yeah, I'm on board with either of these. I just like John Boyega. I'd like to see him in DC as well. Do it, dude.
Absolutely.
Do it.
I'm on board.
All right. Last up. So, Daisy Ridley got to do what so many people dream of, right? Like,
oh yeah,
to be the star in Star Wars.
Right.
Well, that does come at a cost. Daisy recently talked about how hard it was to find work after wrapping up the sequel trilogy.
Right.
And honestly, we can't say we're surprised, right? This is when you are involved in these, big tentpole productions, you tend to kind of get shunned away a little bit when you're the star for at least a little while.
Yeah. Right. So, number one, right, you have, it's Star Wars, so of course it's a trilogy, right? And so you're kind of like tied up for a certain amount of time, and you're doing this thing, the Star Wars thing, right? So she says here, when the film was released, I was like, oh my God, it was such a huge chapter. And weirdly, the past few months of not having much, obviously now it's really nice to be working. But not having much at the time, I feel like I processed the last 5 years. To be forced to slow down, it was good mentally for me. Star Wars is such a big thing in my life, right? So clearly, she felt like Star Wars was like almost all consuming for the past 5 years, which it kind of was. We all get that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, you go into something like Star Wars, you do also have to have this understanding. It's like, okay, you're Rey now. Everyone looks at you and sees Rey. Sorry. It's going to be like that for a little bit, This isn't really uncommon in film either,
No. That's why I said it the way I did. I mean, I'm sure she could reach out to Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah.
And he feels the same way. Now, granted, that consumed much more of his life.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Kind of watched him grow up on screen.
I mean, he was literally growing up. I mean, he grew with the character as the story was told.
Yeah, exactly.
But this doesn't seem to affect sidekicks.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, look at Star Wars. Mark Hamill, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's like the
Mark
main.
Hamill didn't really star in a bunch of stuff after Star Wars.
Hey, don't forget about Corvette Summer. Just saying.
Anywho.
Uh-huh.
But, I mean, he kind of went through the same kind of thing. He didn't really get a lot of big gigs, things like that, after Star Wars.
Right.
Harrison Ford did.
Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe, mention him.
Right?
Really kind of quiet after Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Emma Watson was not.
You're right. Yeah.
So sometimes it's better to be the sidekick, right? Like,
Yeah. No doubt.
I mean, so she's talking about this. Look at John Boyega. We were just talking about him.
Yeah.
He's in like 4 or 5 upcoming things. Like,
right.
This dude's nonstop.
Exactly.
So it's when you're the face of something like Star Wars or something like Harry Potter, I think there's a certain amount of, look, we don't want you promoting our stuff and just constantly being asked about Star Wars.
That might be a big part of it. I mean,
like, you were the face of the franchise for that period of time.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, you are the central character. So, yeah, someone like Mark Hamill, Daisy Ridley, they might not, have quite the same option after Star Wars is done. Not that it's, I don't know.
And I'm not going to lie. If I see a trailer for a new film with Daisy Ridley in it, I might go, wow, I should watch Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this is funny.
I mean, there is some truth to that. Like, you are associated with that.
Right.
It sucks, and it shouldn't be. But a company literally put so much time and effort into every time someone sees your face over the next decade, we want them to think about Star Wars.
Right.
That was Disney's goal. When you see Rey, you think Star Wars.
Absolutely.
You spend money.
Absolutely.
And Sony right now is looking at her going, well, we don't want to make Star Wars more money.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's, I gotta say, this whole thing is nothing new either.
No.
I mean, yeah, you take, I'm going to throw out old examples, right? Showing my age, but,
here we go.
Yeah. You think about a movie like The Outsiders, right? This is a movie, the central character was played by C. Thomas Howell, who played Ponyboy. And like you said, the sidekick characters, they actually have bigger potential. It's like everybody around that character became huge. We are talking Tom Cruise, Emilio Estevez.
Mighty Duckman, I swear to God.
Right. I'm forgetting his name again. Roadhouse guy.
Patrick
Swayze. Yes. So, but you think C. Thomas Howell? He's Ponyboy. And that's it to this day. I'm sorry. I mean, he's done other stuff, but it's just nothing comparing to that role. So, and even if it's not like the central character, some actors just get kind of typecast into a certain character, right?
Right.
You look at I'm blanking on his name. Yep, blanking on his name.
Joe Pesci?
Nope. The nerd from Breakfast Club. Still blanking on his name. Anyway. I said it earlier to you, actually.
You did.
But, that was his character in the 80s, in a handful of different movies. It was pretty much
Anthony Michael Hall.
Anthony Michael Hall, that's his name. Anyway, thank you, Joe.
Hey, you know who else was there?
Yeah, who?
Emilio Estevez.
Of course. Yes. But, and then you think of like the other movies, right? You mentioned when we were talking about this ahead of time, what was it, Weird Science?
Yeah, also Anthony Michael Hall.
Right. And who else was in that
But yeah.
movie? Robert Downey Jr. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes being typecast, it's going to take a little time to break away from that. So, she needs to let things settle and then move forward.
And there are a lot of people that do get this mark for a period of time and then end up being in everything.
Sure.
Because, I mean, I think last week we got to talking about this, like Leo DiCaprio.
Right?
Right? There was a time where he did these romantic films, right?
Yep.
And then where'd he go? Kind of disappeared for a minute.
Yeah.
And now the dude's in everything.
Right?
Like, he just started showing up in everything. It's like, where'd he come from? Oh, yeah, he was big back 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's true.
20 years ago. Wow. 20 years ago. Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's only been a year, right?
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, it sucks. You're an actor, right? Like, you don't want this mark because you're an actor. You pride yourself in being able to be someone else.
Right.
That's literally what you're paid to do. You're paid to play another character. And when your character becomes as much a part of you in, like the studio's eyes, it's like, whoa. Like, aren't you supposed to wait and see how I can, like, try and be someone else?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why do you just automatically assume I'm this?
There's part of me who has got to believe you kind of hit the nail on the head with the promotional tours and stuff like that, where they're doing the rounds, hitting all the shows and stuff every single time. So, Star Wars. That's how they're going to end every conversation. That's probably not what other studios want to end every conversation with.
I mean, they send you out on these tours to basically make you like a jingle, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're supposed to hear ding, hot pocket, and be hungry.
Exactly.
You see Daisy Ridley, you think Rey, you think Star Wars. That's what they literally invested in.
Yeah.
I mean, John was out there a lot. Other characters, other actors were out there a lot, but Rey was the face.
Yeah.
Everywhere you went, Rey was on everything.
It's true.
So, and villains, I mean, you would think Adam Driver would be along the same boat. One, he had the benefit of being masked most of the time in the promotional content.
Sure.
And two, villains never seem to get this same treatment.
Right.
Villains are like, wow, we need more bad guys. So yeah, it sucks. Hope this ends fast for her and she could get back to work, because you're out there to play different characters.
Yeah.
You don't become an actor to go, okay, I want to be in Star Wars and that's it.
Right.
No one does that.
That's, you know what? I think you just put the best idea ever out there, Joe.
What's that?
She needs to play a villain. I think that could
Honestly,
help.
It would help.
Yeah.
I think it would help.
Yeah, I think so too.
And advertising her as a villain would be able to separate her from that Star Wars thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it's like completely different side.
Right.
So yeah, 180 degrees.
Yeah, somebody cast Daisy as a villain. Just saying. There.
Yeah. As long as she wants to play a villain.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Yeah. I think, she's a good enough actress to where she could do it. That's for sure. So, I think it would be kind of interesting to see. So, yeah.
I mean, people did really want to see Dark Ray.
Well, there you go. Now we can't do it.
Yeah, but hold on. If you're another studio making a film,
Oh, you want to capitalize on this, huh?
you can capitalize on this.
Yeah, true.
You can use Disney's own marketing arm against them.
Ooh. I like this. It's like boardroom jujitsu here.
I'm talking to you, Warner Brothers.
I love it.
So is there a DC villain that needs to be Daisy Ridley here?
Hmm.
So just saying, I'm sure they're out there.
Yeah.
I mean, could Daisy Ridley play a live action killer or a feature film Killer Frost?
Probably.
Yeah, see?
Nice.
So, yeah.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you have anything to add, you can always email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. It's the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media. We're at The Wars and More on Twitter, facebook.com/thewarsandmore. Find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsandmore.com. Any final thoughts this week, Doug?
No, I think that about covers it.
All right. We will talk next week.